friend said to me years ago, like, who do you think you are? You think you have a brand? And at the time I was trying to build a brand, but like, just imagine like sitting with certain negativity that you don't even realize like rooted itself within your limiting beliefs.
Blink twice. Fab's over here like this. Help. Yo, wait. Clock it. Wait. No, I learned to clock it like recently.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll do a tutorial later.
Welcome to Comfortable Conversations. I'm your host, Jas Kirk, where we dive into the greatest gift life can offer us, discomfort. These honest yet comfortable conversations we will have are essential as your life is your canvas. In each episode, I will share practical wisdom and personal stories that guide you through life's big questions, encouraging growth, self-discovery, and deeper connections in your everyday life.
I'm a little wired. I haven't had espresso in some time. Happy to be here, fresh off the plane.
She's fresh off the plane, ladies and gentlemen.
Fresh off the plane. That was my A. Marie voice. Have you seen that? No, it's fine. We don't.
Reel it in. I'm just kidding. Fabian, how you been?
I've been good. I've been good.
We can't be serious at all, but that's why we have this monthly episode, and I love it. Mm-hmm. Y'all, we're always going to talk about discomfort. That's the theme of this. The discomfort of the girlies.
Of the titties.
Yeah. The girlies be uncomfortable sometimes. Yeah, in the heat and sweat, under boob.
Sweat is nuts.
But uncomfortability. I think that's where we'll eventually go somewhere in this. But I always like for you to start because I feel like you be needing to get something off your chest. You be needing to let the people know.
I think well, obviously, like, I've transitioned to LA, and something that's come up in the few months that I've been moving there and also still coming back here is having expectation and also just like a vision for something, and then it either like doesn't happen the way you think it does or it will, or it happens a little differently. And sometimes that brings a little like grief.
So we're going there.
Yeah.
This is why she has to start, y'all, because Fab, like,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's like the transition. That's why I said uncomfortable. Like, as you were talking, I was thinking about my scripture this week of the refinement grace, where things have to shed, and it's not bad, like you said, but it's that refinement that's happening. And surrender has to occur during that time. And it's like ultimately surrendering the way, leaving, and let me not say surrendering, leaving room for it to work out even better.
Yeah.
And I think we when it comes to vision, manifesting and all of that, you see it so clearly. You have to be intentional and clear, but you even have to leave room to zoom out a bit more.
Yeah, flexibility, flow, surrendering. I think like that's where I'm at. Like I have an idea. Like I know exactly why I went out there, and now I'm kind of like in a position to be like, okay, do what you said you were going to do. Like start, like, you know, like the seeds have been planted, but actually like the cultivation time is happening. And it's like, there's so many different ways to go about it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my thing is like, all right, like I'm just letting spirit guide me. just letting it guide me. If I'm supposed to go over here and I go and it's like, okay, cool. We're pivoting. Where are we going next? Okay, cool. Let me do this. Okay, let's have this conversation. Okay. Just flow. As a recovering control freak, that's hard for me.
She's being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you on that. It's like you went out there with intentions but the lay of the land is different, I would assume. Like it's, though you've traveled out there for some time, it's still like now that's home base.
Yeah.
And like that settling that has to happen.
And you know what's weird? I feel more, I was settled faster in LA than I was in Dallas because LA is like, it's not too far off from New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also I have community there. In Dallas, I started from scratch.
Yeah.
So I think like after you do something from scratch and you prove to you and you're like, wow, I really did that.
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, to jump in and feel like you're at, let's say like level 2, starting from level 2 or something like that. It's like not scary. So like everyone kind of is like, oh, like how do you feel like you've settled? And I was like, I literally feel like I drove my car out here and I continued my life. Like I went down the block.
You said I went all these miles.
Yeah.
I love that though. I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But maybe it also speaks to where you are in life. And like how settled you are just within that no matter where you were placed, you would have been good.
Yeah. And I think like, because I don't know if LA is like the final stop, like my forever home. Like I'm actually like home is not a location thing to me. Like I can feel at home no matter where I'm at, unless I'm in like, you know, some like community that's weird.
A cult? Yeah, unless you're in a cult, you better scream for
like
the
a community
mountains.
that doesn't have like you know fresh produce or something.
Come get me, y'all.
This is not for me.
Blink twice. Fab's over here like this. Help.
Help. But there's still like I did still like think certain things were gonna be certain ways and they're not, and it's just like okay, noted. And adjusting.
Do you feel like that's a shift in overall culture globally? Maybe it's not nationally or globally. Is it beginning to be the shift of how people are moving? And let's get specific on the creative space. And I think when it comes to our listeners, considering everybody goes through a transition period, everybody experience this feeling of grief. You can grief and joy can coincide with each other, but it's kind of like that endings and beginnings. The grief of the ending, but the joy of the new beginning.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think even just our generation, like millennials, I think we were, or I'll just speak for myself. I was raised to understand adulting to be a specific experience.
Yeah.
And it was not anything like what I thought it would be. Like I just didn't really feel prepared emotionally, financially.
At all. Financially at all. I'm like, this is ghetto. This is so
excuse me. But yeah.
Unbelievably.
It's like
yeah.
And so I think like millennials, we had to figure that out on top of like all of the cultural, you know, disaster and tragedy that have been
had to go through,
hovering around us this entire time. And so like we really have been in a flow state, but we weren't taught to be in a flow state. So it has felt like resistance this entire time. And so that's why I think within the last 5 years, especially, you know, the pandemic kind of kicking that off. I mean, it started, you know, before that, but like wellness culture being trendy and just like coming back home to yourself, like somatic healing and therapy, like all of that stuff being more popular because it's like the only real thing that will make you feel better or like nurture those feelings, because it's like you really have to unlearn everything that they taught us.
Yeah, about adulting and
just surviving.
Well, there's, I think either you've learned it and had it an example, or when you get out there, you're figuring it out as you go.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are figuring it out as they go, but also maybe not welcoming the pivot or welcoming help. So you get stuck in habits and ways that aren't really best for you moving forward.
100%. It's all you know is coping and survival mode. So that's how you're going to show up. And somebody being like, hey, like you actually don't have to do it this way. It sounds like they're talking a different language to you.
Yeah.
But, and like, that's how it was for me too. Like feedback, like I used to be like, especially as a New Yorker, you get feedback that like
Y'all
you're
are aggressive. Yeah.
or unapproachable. It's like, I was taught to be this way.
Yeah. But I've met a few New Yorkers. I'm like, girl, please help Jesus.
You mean like who are still that way?
Yeah.
No,
like
yeah, but that's what I'm
saying.
But that's what
like,
we're taught to be that way, because when you're walking the streets, like you're getting street harassed and it's New York strong and like that marketing around it. It's cute to be that way.
Yeah.
But then you get into like outside of that and people are like, damn, she's really aggressive. And your automatic reaction to that is to be defensive about it. But then if you actually take the time and be like, damn, I am aggressive and it's affecting my nervous system. Like I'm actually aggressive. I'm an angry person.
Yeah. I got to work on me.
Yeah, you have to. But you don't, when people tell you that who are not New Yorkers, you're like, fuck out of here. You don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just like came out real quick. Like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like SMD, like all of these things. It's just like, but that's the foreign language.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Ooh. I'm actually amazing.
Okay.
As we were gearing up for this episode, I've had substantial transition in my life, which you know.
Mm-hmm.
I transitioned from Honeydew, so the podcast is just comfortable conversations with Jas Kirk. I've leaned into my personal brand.
Yo, wait. Clock it. Wait. No, I learned to clock it like recently.
Yeah.
Help me, Jesus. We'll get there
It's
later.
fine. We'll do a tutorial later.
Most things I have to.
I'm
fine. Not cultured in a lot of things, but I'm cultured in other areas, and just like I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know. And one thing you can look over to me when I don't know something is like this wide-eyed person who's like, she doesn't get it.
And that's important, because some people will act like they understand everything.
And I'd be like, didn't land. Okay. Anyway, but been in a real transition period and owning it. Fab definitely knows, like, we've had so many conversations starting even before last year where it was like, why are you not leaning into Jas Kirk?
Mm-hmm.
And it took time for me to kind of go within and heal certain aspects that hadn't, and like doors that I refused to open because I was like, no. You know how like you don't even realize there's a door there that's blocking you until like the door kind of props itself open. You're like, let me go in there. What's in there? That looks like
you
it's
realize
like
you have the key in your pocket
the whole time, whole time. And so that kind of happened for me, where there's this beautiful transition period that would feel like a valley, but it really isn't. Like, I feel like, and I think we talked about this before with my running metaphor, like when you're going uphill, you know you have to continue your momentum and keep the enthusiasm. And in life, when you're going uphill, you're like, yes, I love this.
Yeah.
But then when you go downhill in running, there is this shedding and this lightness you feel. But in life, if you're going towards a valley, you are like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And so as I've been in this season that may look as if it's a valley, it doesn't feel like it. And there's so many habits that I'm releasing. There's so many limiting beliefs that I'm having to let go of. And I didn't know. It's just like years of just like therapy and trauma and just like this birth of Jas is here, and I love her. And so when I talk about discomfort and the refining grace, that is a part of discomfort. And that's a part of like learning and new awareness of like, this is actually really good. Lean in. And I think there's a threshold that sometimes we hold ourselves back. We're so scared of the thing that's new, that's uncomfortable. And fear is telling us all of these variables that are happening. But the moment you lean into this like threshold of like the thing that feels scary, you see it really is bliss on the other side.
Yeah.
Like speaking opportunities that have been coming about, new, really amazing guests. I'm just like clearer, lighter, better, like more amazing. Yeah. Thriving. And like even understanding what thriving means. Like taking 2 months off to not record because I was like, hey, I'm tired of feeling reactive with everything. I want to be strategic and make a plan and be intentional. And when you're looking externally, sometimes it can feel like you've pressed pause and you're not building momentum. And I think there's this misconception to that period of like, there's still momentum happening, but it's so much below the surface that people don't need to see this refinement. People don't have to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's been even like I haven't shared before. Earlier this year, I was let go from my corporate job for the past 7 years of having a passion that turned into a business. Having that passion fail because I was still, and I say fail from a space of like positivity and not fail from a space of I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
There was a lot learned and gained, but this whole time I've relied on a corporate job. And so I didn't really share like, man, you got let go from your company, and it was in a really horrible way. And I've gotten the amazing opportunity to speak on corporate wellness in intentional ways now that I'm really excited about, because there is this culture of leadership that is not really compassionate. And there's this like shift in like, everyone needs to speak the same way. It's like, let's circle back. Like, first of all, we all don't talk the same. We don't email the same. I love that y'all are using chat. It's funny. You can actually tell who's utilizing chat GPT and their responses, even without the dashes. Like everyone's like, the dash is it. It's more than that. But I'm utilizing my voice so much more and speaking in a way that like, I didn't know God, the universe is going to use that experience. Like losing your job, the first thing you're like, oh my God, my sense of security. And the first thing I did, that wasn't like, at no point did I think that. I was like, I cried, and I tell everybody, y'all knew, I was like, I cried for like 5 minutes. And then that night when I went to sleep, I was like, a year's worth of stress left my body because that was like the wrong place for me. And when I leaned into, well, Jas, you said that would be the last corporate company you'd work for. Now you got to get on your stuff. And like, I got really curious in this time. And so this transition period has just been like, wow. Yeah. That's how I'm like thriving.
I think it's also a testament to like you taking 2 months off for rest did not put you back
at all.
And that's like a big fear of people.
Yeah,
like catapulted. You know what I'm saying? And I think people still struggle with that. Like stillness or not doing anything is going to put them behind. Or people are going to forget about them.
So I had to learn, and we all have to learn, how to just be. And so rest allows for trust. You trust the work you've put in. You trust the seeds you've planted. You trust flow.
Yeah.
And if you never rest, you essentially tell the universe, I really don't trust that what is meant to come is going to come. But also that being. Like we get on this journey of just do. And our identity becomes tied to being enough. I have to do something to receive love. I have to do something to receive a paycheck. I have to do something to, stand in community. I have to do.
Yeah.
And then when you like live in B, like that's it. B-E, spell it out. B and E, period.
Mm-hmm.
When you live in that, at first, it is so scary because everything that can come up will come up.
Yeah.
Every limiting belief, every worry, every concern, every fear is like, what is this? It's too still. And you, like, one thing I want to share with people, you have to allow it to, but don't attach yourself to it and just let those things come up, because it's like this magical release that has to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Discomfort has been, and I've been leaning into that. I'm like, isn't it funny? I have a podcast on discomfort, and y'all, it meets me all the time. And the research I do for it, the work I have to do, but my own journey unfolds. Like, a lot of this is experience that I'm sharing. So,
yeah. How have you seen that like trickle into your relationships as well?
Oh, yeah. I'm much more open and welcoming to opinions, feedback, true feedback. Criticism is different. And I will talk about this till people's ears bleed.
Quickly, how can you tell the difference between criticism and feedback?
Criticism, I think personally for me, it takes time.
Okay.
Like, no, it takes time if you're someone who struggles with receiving feedback, it can be something deeper, that you received criticism so much in your life that masks itself as feedback, and now you can't tell the difference. So the biggest thing is like going to the root of like your understanding of feedback. For me, feedback, like, people would say, oh, this is feedback. And when I really sat back and recognized, like, from an early age, I received a lot of criticism that was masked as feedback.
Yeah.
So it made me defensive when real, true feedback came. And then I wasn't able to receive it. Feedback should be an opportunity for growth, not statements that end with period, where there's no clarity, there's no expansion, there's no opportunity for growth. It's just like,
or even a conversation.
Yeah. So now I'm much more open. People are open to sharing things. People are very open to difficult conversations, and me like sitting in it, and I'm able to communicate better because I'll share like, this is uncomfortable for me. That doesn't mean I won't have the hard conversation.
Yeah. I
just need you to understand my habit, right? And this is a lot of people's habit of, I shut down.
Yeah.
And I'm working on, I'm not being reactive and shut down, but in that moment, I need to take a moment. I can't respond immediately because my entire system is like calibrating in a new way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be real out here, man.
Yeah.
It's like constant work on self.
It's a never ending journey.
Yeah. It's like, when does it stop?
It's not a destination.
Yeah. It doesn't stop. But the other thing that I really wanted to address today was like, the creative space. I'm learning. Well, I've always known, like, you got your own secret sauce, but I think there are so many people who are just like replicating and copycatting things that it's like become this space where you really have to be intentional with what you put out. And like, I think we even dealt with this when it was like, everybody's a marketing person. And then you're like, babe, you're not marketing. You would like to
It's
be
the concept of marketing.
It's like a piece.
An idea.
Like, it's not even an idea. Like, let's be real. But
thought.
I think the creative space, like originality and authenticity are not at the forefront for a lot of people. It's like just copy and paste what someone else has done, and they're showing you the blueprint. And I think which I'm happy. I've never been a person who was like, they did it that way, so let me do it that way. If anything, I was like, man, if they got that opportunity, just imagine the things I could create if I just think of my own.
Right.
But I think there's such a culture where there's not authenticity at the forefront and originality. Mm-hmm. And so it's a huge differentiator for me. But I think for people in general, we really have to hone in on like, who are you? What is your why? Mm-hmm. If you have an example of a way to do it, the goal is not to copy and paste that.
Yeah.
Steps 1 through 4 might be, these are the steps to doing that.
Yeah.
But you always got to still add your way in there.
Yeah. This is how I see it. Because essentially everything's been done before. Yeah. And when you're working in a creative space, that's like, it's not about like, what can we do that's never been done before? Even though that is the question that's asked. Yeah. Like, you know, a few years ago, these, especially if you work like in a corporate space, cutting edge was a big like trendy word, or, you know, like disruptive. Yeah. These are like big like ad agency, like creative words that like people love throwing around. It's all been done before. Yeah. The key, and like you touched on it, but like the key is your point of view. Do you have a point of view? And your point of view can't be, well, this worked for them, so we should do the exact same thing. That is not a point of view. That's just like a view. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's two things can be true. The accessibility of creative tools is a beautiful thing, because now people from everywhere have the opportunity to tap into that side of them. Yeah. The other side of that is people think that anybody can do it and it's just easy. Yeah. And that is not.
That is a huge case. Is that easy part? You're like, bro, it's not. Yeah. Like recently somebody asked me, how long have you been podcasting? And I said, well, I started studying this a year plus ago, but I didn't start actually recording, getting in front of a camera until last September. Mm-hmm. And it's like 4 years ago when someone mentioned you should start podcasting, I began studying and honing my skill. And like, when I say studying, listening.
Like to learn and not just to consume.
Yeah. Listening to learn, studying how you listen, how you listen and respond. Because a lot of times, even in normal conversation, I always get like, Jas, you're a really good listener. Yeah. Because I had to learn how to listen to what the person was saying and not be ready to just respond with whatever I wanted to say. If you wait till someone actually finishes their full thought, like that may actually change what you're about to say. Yeah. But if you're like ready to rebuttal, then you're just like, it's back and forth versus like, so that was a skill I had to learn of like listening to actually respond and stop rebuttaling every single thing. Yeah. Something people don't realize is like studying the length of time a podcast is for just listenership, like how listeners are educated and what you guys learn when it comes to well-being, like that topic, like researching, well, if everybody's talking about mental health, do I want to just get in the mental health lane, or do I want to create an even smaller lane for that? So like last September, we started in front of these cameras, but maybe 2 years ago, Jas was like, okay, what lane? Like getting even more specific, researching and everything. And I think it's easy to see this version, right? And say, oh, she did it. She just records at a studio. There's cameras, go. And it's like, no, I really respect individuals who can share fact within their opinion and educate people off of true information versus people who sit down and just spew their opinion and not recognize that you do have a platform that even if there's one listener, somebody's listening and not doing the work behind like, well, they said this percentage, so that is fact, you know?
Do you feel like they were asking because they were trying to like, in New York, we'd say son you, like essentially like, oh, you just start like little bro you.
Like, no, not this person, but I feel like people do that. I get that. Like the funny thing is you get people who play with you. And sometimes I gotta let them know, don't play with me. But that person specifically did not. But I do get people like, even like what a lot of people don't know, I pick my guests. But I actually have a run, like I have a great
vetting call.
I have a vetting call, but I also like, I'm booked. Like,
period.
Like it's a beautiful opportunity. But then, so when I have people like, they sit on like, oh, I don't know if they want to do this little pot. I'd be like, okay, move on to the next one because I was giving you a courtesy heads up, but like I got somebody in that, like, we got to move around it. But
sense of urgency is important, and you want to be in lines with people who also want
have
to
that same sense of urgency.
They don't just see this as like a clout thing or like, oh, exposure and stuff. And some creatives, because they, you know, went to some baddie brunch and were told that that's important, they think that that's like part of the process. And I just don't think like people in that mindset are in alignment with you.
Yeah. Every like, I just feel like.
And that was not a dig to baddie brunch Dallas. I meant like everyone knows
general,
like, that was a general baddie brunch. Like,
I didn't,
that,
I mean,
that
I
happens.
But it's not my brunch.
No.
So
I just realized I forgot I'm in Dallas and I'm like before baddie brunch, there were baddie brunches.
Yeah.
And that's like a term.
But I think that it goes back to the originality and like the authenticity. Like there are so many, just like, I really want to speak on this because it's like, you are one of one, but like, if you don't know why you are one, why you are the intangible that you are, it makes it like, you even know when it came to mental wellness club, all of a sudden it's like all these mental wellness clubs, and you, like me and you had that conversation. And I was like, oh no. But then you're like, okay, like I did have to realize mental health was a trend.
Yeah.
And then mental wellness is actually a new language and topic within the past 10 years. I've been doing this research for the past 7 years and saying this term, but it's like, Jas, you're approaching that 10-year where you're going to start seeing more people use it. And that's good, right? And that's what can differentiate you. It's like, you didn't just roll up and start saying, like when people would used to say like, oh, your mental health, I always corrected and said mental wellness.
Yeah.
But it's new for me now in the space of like, not y'all caught the trend.
You know what Tina Knowles would say? What's the word? Like coin it. But what's the like official
trademark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't trademark mental wellness, but I can. Jas Kirk Life Wellness is getting you cannot, which is why.
Make sure you apply for it before you put this episode out. People are petty. I'll be like, let me go ahead and coin it.
Yeah.
I bet she has no
But
fun.
that was a huge reason why. And I reached out to you and I was like, hey, I just had this conversation. And I'm leaning into Jas. Like as we do this rebrand, it's not really a rebrand anymore. It was like dissolving in old. I was hiding behind, and let me just backtrack. When I first moved to Dallas, horrible friendships, horrible community that I was involved in. And coming from Chicago to Dallas, I always felt like that girl. I put in my work. Anything I do, I'm going to put in my 10,000 hours. And so the Dallas community was really hard for me because, and when you talk about building from scratch, like, and a lot of people experience this. It's not just a Dallas thing. It's so if you go to a new city and like, there's these cliques and there's these communities where you're like, I don't fit in. And I really, really, really wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
And then I began to be not liked by people that I was like, I don't even understand why you don't like me. I'm so lovable. Like, I'm Jas Kirk, lovable. And then there was this moment where I felt like my name had been tarnished. My character, who I was as a human being, was just like, we don't mess with her. And so I essentially created Honeydew as this like version that gets to get in the door as Jas is hiding behind her.
Really?
And yeah, and it took for me to do a lot of deep work. It took for me to go back to, that was the door I was talking about earlier, that it was like, why can't you lean into your name? And you know, Bill asked me that. He was like, Jas is actually cool. What's Honeydew? And I was like, Honeydew's Honeydew. He's like, well, Honeydew's exciting when you explain to people what Honeydew is, like the intention behind it. But he's like, Jas Kirk is really cool walking in the room. Like, you know, like that's who's building the partnerships. That like you are your own personal brand. Why aren't you leaning into that? And when I was like, why am I not? And then I had this moment of like, you felt like your name had been tarnished. It couldn't get you in certain rooms anymore. So let's hide behind this mask. Honeydew can get in a room. Jas Kirk may get in the room, but it was like this moment of like, but those people, what reach do they have to tarnish it? And then that was my discomfort of like leaning into my name and who you are.
Yeah.
And once I did that, like, that's why I said this season has been thriving. It's like, yes, Jas Kirk, like, y'all should see the like opportunities that I'm like, yes. So but everybody has that. Not everybody has this exact experience, but you do deal with people that hurt you in a way and you don't even recognize it's hurt. You just dismiss it as, oh, it is what it is. You go through that versus like, no, you were in an unkind space that was not socially safe at all. And like, you gotta like look at this for what it was and like move forward differently. Yeah. And now, you know me, but
it's behind you.
It really now is behind me, and it was blocking me for so long.
That's, I commend you for like taking your time with that and being like honest with that.
Comfortable conversations, baby. We gonna start getting real comfortable.
Yeah. And then it's like we said, it's an ongoing process, but I hope you continue to embrace, you know, that door being open now. And you like walking through, strutting through.
Well, and another thing, like you remember when Fab left and she had her going away party, she gave her guest gifts. I was like, bro, not Fab giving us card. Like she gave me
a handwritten note.
Yeah, and she gave me this beautiful like the card was not handcrafted, but it was a beautiful card, and she put a note in there, and I remember it just said like, you need to be loud and proud and be who you are and stand in that. And so you're a dear friend who shared that. Bill is someone who's always like standing in your light. Anytime I'm not, he's like, where are you at?
I can't see you. It's dark in here. Where are you?
And so it takes the people who see you to be like, you're not in it. You're like a little bit, and we need you to amplify. And so it's been beautiful to receive, and that goes to feedback. Yeah. Like there's people who care about you, and they're saying that from a loving space to help see you grow. Or there's people who can criticize you and keep diminishing who you are and not helpful.
Yeah. And sometimes people don't realize they're doing that, but they're just so uncomfortable around your spirit that like their projection is like based on you getting smaller or dimmer so that they're more comfortable.
Oh yeah, that was the
you.
experience that I had. And I think a lot of people can relate to, you are in friendships that are actually dimming you. Yeah. Like in order for you to show up for them, you have to be a dull version of yourself. Mm-hmm. And you'll function so long like that you think that's normal until you get in spaces where it's like, now
everybody's shining.
Yeah, everybody's shining and they like want you to shine. Mm-hmm. And you wonder why, you know, I remember someone said, a friend said to me years ago, 2017, 18, mm-hmm. like, who do you think you are? You think you have a brand? And at the time I was trying to build a brand but like, just imagine mm-hmm. like sitting with certain negativity that you don't even realize like rooted itself within your limiting beliefs.
Yeah, that's nuts.
This is language that like sometimes like we don't recognize until you go back. Like you got a clean house and like genuinely not just sweep it up, mop it up, like get rid of the stain that you have, because it can really be the thing holding you back. And it's like, there are people who their intentions may not be to even be that way, but
those people, I mean, something as blatant as that it's giving me intentional. But they probably don't realize like their parent probably spoke to them like that. And that's why they're speaking to you like that. Like, and I'm always like, it's going back to the childhood. But it really do be like, especially like, if you were too much, like for either your, you know, either parent, and it's like, or your personality was too big or like any of that. Like I was in private school with all these white people. Like I never felt like I fit in. And then me taking that to my mom and be like, I don't feel like I fit in. And her being like, you going to school? You're not going to school to fit in. You going to school so you can go to college. I'm like, damn, I gotta go to a school to go to another school. Like that's all that matters. Yeah. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? So like all of that stuff that's like the domino effect, unfortunately. But if you don't start the healing from there, it's just like you're only getting that first like iceberg level.
Yeah. Well, this is where we are, man. Discomfort and leaning in. And even for myself, this podcast is just an opportunity to share and give you all those tips and tricks and like resources, like
stories too.
Yeah, you have to lean in, and vulnerability has been huge for me in this season of like,
Okay, so you said you wanted to give like tips, tricks, tools, and whatever. What are 3 things that someone can do that for someone who is looking to be more vulnerable, whether in their life in some way?
One, you have to just start, like, share the story. Whatever it is you're holding on to, like the shame, blame, the shame, blame story, the darkest secret that you feel you're holding, the version of you feel like no one will see and love. I guarantee you there is somebody who will. So one, you have to share it. But before you share it, you have to assess if that is a safe place to share it. Safe people reveal themselves. Guarantee you. Safe people ask you to love you. They don't, they every time they get a chance, they're reminding you to love you more, to pour into you more. They're like, not say, give me anything. They're saying, put that energy into you and it'll come back to me. It'll automatically radiate to me. Don't worry about me, worry about you.
Yeah.
So one, find those safe, like, well, I'll switch one and two. So find the safe people so that you can release the shame, blame, limited belief story that you have. And 3, practice. It's practice. Every time you have an opportunity, it's not going to come naturally. Vulnerability, when you're at a deep level, and I'm not talking about vulnerability as in like someone, and you can put it into practice in this way. If someone says, how are you? And you genuinely share how you are.
That's a great first step, honestly.
That is a great first step. But then it's like every other time, like, you're going deeper. You're really sharing your day.
Yeah.
It's not the Instagram story day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how was your day really? And recognizing like, when you even share that, you're making room and giving capacity to yourself, and like someone else holding space for that. That is just like a plus.
Yeah. Okay. So based on what you said, I'm going to redo the
Order
3.
them.
I think the first thing to do is be vulnerable with yourself. That's what you said. So whether that's like journaling to yourself, telling yourself the story, getting the story out, being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Then finding a safe space, whether it's like a therapist, a good friend, a community, something, and then practicing that over and over again.
Yeah. Step 1 and 2 and repeat over and over
Literally,
and over and over again.
It's literally just repeating
2 steps and
for
repeat.
the rest of your life.
No, seriously, we are leaving y'all with that.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is your superpower. Do not let someone else weaponize your vulnerability.
Yeah, and just also because if someone doesn't receive it, doesn't mean that you did a bad job either.
Yeah. All right, we're leaving you. Have a great day, guys.
Go cry. Cancer season. No. That out. Who knows when this.
Thank you for joining me, Jas Kirk, on Comfortable Conversations. Remember, the greatest gift life can offer you is discomfort. It's what shapes us, teaches us, and helps us grow. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. Until next time, keep embracing life's challenges as opportunities to create your masterpiece. Your canvas is waiting. Go paint it beautifully.